What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic week. We are 4 days away from Eagles football. I don't know about you, but I, of course, am ready to run through some walls. Oh, my Lord, this 2024 season, you know how excited I am for the Philadelphia Eagles, what they have been able to do throughout this offseason in the draft and free agency. I mean, we have been talking about everything under the sun with this team, the new coordinators, everything that they needed to change, and then some. Oh, my Lord, you know the excitement is through the roof. I've got Jalen Hurts winning MVP, the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. But, before we get to that point, we obviously have a full season ahead of us, and a lot has to happen, and got to stay healthy. All these things that we know, but very confident in this team. But what we like to do in these parts is break down each and every week how the Philadelphia Eagles can win these games, what will be issues for them, all that stuff. So you get shows throughout the week. Now, this game is on Friday, so it's going to be a little different, a little crammed together. But each week you get this stuff where I'm keeping you up to date with everything you need to know for these games. And it starts off each week with Behind Enemy Lines. And I know some of you sickos know this show, where we like to go and find everything out about our opponent for that week. So week 1 in Brazil, coming up on Friday night, baby. Let's go. The Green Bay Packers. So we're going to get to know everything about the Packers, what they did in the offseason, what they did last year with their stats, their rankings. We'll look at their entire team, coaching staff, their practice squad, injury reserve, and then, of course, at the end, the depth chart. So I'm going to fly through this. Want to talk about this stuff. Maybe you're a Packers fan watching this. Maybe you want to, add some input, maybe some thoughts, whatever it is. You diehard Eagles fans, love to hear from you, your thoughts on this, maybe where you think could be a problem, what you're excited about with the Eagles. You got a score prediction, whatever's on your mind. Love to hear from you. But let's go behind enemy lines with the Green Bay Packers for week 1, baby. The Eagles' week 1 opponent. We're going to start it off with, well, what the hell did these guys do this offseason? What have they been up to and added? And almost got to see them in the NFC Championship game, the way that ended there with the Niners, but they took out the Cowboys. That was enjoyable. But look, Jordan Love and this team looking to, make some strides here this year. And look, they did lose some players. They lost Aaron Jones and Bakhtiari, Devondre Campbell, Runyon, Neiman on the line there, Owens and Savage in the secondary, but they added Josh Jacobs. They added Xavier McKinney, Malik Willis, and Andre Dillard there as well. But Jacobs and McKinney are 2 home run hits for them. And, obviously Josh Jacobs, one of the better running backs in the league, and Xavier McKinney, one of the best safeties in this game. Dude is a stud. Wish the Eagles could have got him. He was one of the guys I really wanted. Unfortunate that did not happen. But look, they got themselves a stud there. And then in the draft, they had a lot of picks here and went with a lot of defense. But they did add, some offensive linemen, a running back in Marshawn Lloyd, and in the secondary, a bunch of safeties. So added a lot of pieces. Most of them made the team. A couple did not. You will see here shortly, but those are all of their draft picks here. Added Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker. A lot of people were fans of his. Bullard from Georgia. I mean, they had some damn good picks. A couple of linebackers in there, a couple of secondary pieces. So they went with the spots where they let people walk, going for the youth movement. And they've got a lot of good pieces in place, familiar to what the Eagles have been doing here. So building themselves quite a contender here. And look, last year, as I had mentioned, so close to, getting into that NFC Championship, doing things where, I was hopeful that the Eagles couldn't even get past the Buccaneers. But these guys, they went ahead, and I was hopeful to see a Hurts-Love matchup. Well, we're going to get to see that in week 1, and maybe later on in the season, we'll get to see it again. But let's take a gander at what they did last year and were able to make it into the playoffs with a 9-8 record. The Lions obviously leading the way in the NFC North there, and 12-5 is pretty damn good. 9-8, and then you see 7-10 for both the Vikings and Bears behind them. But this team, I actually had it. Let me find it real quick. All right, found it here. So you can see, snuck in with one of those wild card spots. We had one of those wild card spots. Obviously, 7 teams now make the playoffs, so they were that final spot. Ultimately lost to the Niners, but Jordan Love, man, without A-Rod, they're looking, pretty good and adding some nice pieces here. And, You could see how they ended up last year, 8th in points per game, 10th in total yards. And this is regular and postseason added, just how the team did overall. You can see 14th in rushing, 13th in passing. So middle of the pack there. But look at that, 3rd and only allowing 1.6 sacks per game, tied for 8th. Not turning the ball over too much there. You see on defense, giving up some yards there, middle of the pack there with points. Not great against the run. The pass, middle of the pack, same with sacks, 2.6 per game. Interceptions, not too many of those, and not too many turnovers overall. So some of the additions they made, hopeful that those things change for them. I'm just hopeful that doesn't happen here this Friday. So, look, they've got themselves some studs here, but let's talk about this team. Let's look at what they've got here, and we're going to start it off, look at the coaching staff, then we'll go through each position. You'll see the players at each position, then at the bottom, also if anyone's at that position on the practice squad or on IR, so you know what's going on at each position. But let's start it off with the coaching staff, and you've got LaFleur with Stenavich there as his offensive coordinator, Bisaccia as his special teams coordinator still, but Joe Barry is out as defensive coordinator, and they bring in Jeff Hafley there out of Boston College. He was the head coach there for the last 4 years, I believe. So bringing in a new defense, more of your traditional 4-3, more of a 4-2 with a nickel, to be honest with you. But, a little different than what Joe Barry was running, more similar to the Vic Fangio multiple scheme defense you're seeing. But you'll see a lot of every defense has multiple schemes, man. It's just a matter of what you're building, and they're more of a 4-man front. But let's get through this. We know what's going on here. Young coaching staff with some veteran coaches there to help out, but helping out Jordan Love here, and now Malik Willis as the backup. But Love continues to impress, obviously having to live in the shadow of Aaron Rodgers there for a little bit. But, this kid, he's a bright star, going to be one of the better quarterbacks in this league. So looking forward to this matchup here. But Malik Willis now as their backup, and Sean Clifford on the practice squad there out of Penn State. So that is their quarterback room. Now, running backs, yeah, they got rid of Aaron Jones. Unfortunately, A.J. Dillon ended up on IR, but they've got Josh Jacobs here. And they drafted Marshawn Lloyd, who is a stud. So they've got 2 pretty damn good running backs right off the bat there, going to try to improve that run game. And look, man, the Eagles, I think that they've got some beasts here, but got to shore things up. Hopefully some tackling, got some live action starters. Didn't play a lot. The defense did. Some of the starters played. So I'm hopeful we can, take these guys down, make it one-dimensional where you're trying to take it out of Jordan Love's hands. Don't worry, I'll break this game down. Right now, just getting to know this team. But Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, even Wicks, Melton Heath, you've got some – all these guys are homegrown receivers, and Christian Watson, if he stays healthy, this kid is a stud. Jaden Reed is a stud as well. He can help them in the return game. I mean, they've got some weapons here. Dobbs, don't sleep on him either. But you can see a couple guys, Wayne and Hicks, on the practice squad. But he's got some weapons here. And the Eagles, we've got a secondary. So I'm looking forward to this matchup, hopefully shutting these guys down. And look out for the tight ends as well. We've got some linebackers now. I feel much better than what we've had in years prior. I know some people still questioning it, but got some work here with Musgrave and Kraft, and a little bit of Ben Sims maybe, but Musgrave and Kraft is a good 1-2 punch. Young guys that they drafted, and I think that, they're hopeful they have a bright future here with Jordan Love. Hopefully the Eagles can shut him down. Now the offensive linemen here, you've got their starters, Walker, Jenkins, Myers, Morgan, Tom, and then you've got some young guys, some veterans. You got Monk, Ryan, Telfort, Dillard is there, and then Glover. And then you got Donovan Jennings and former Philadelphia Eagles practice squatter, Lester Smith, there as one of their practice squad guys. So that is their offense. I'll show you their special teams here. Well, their specialists. Narveson, the kicker, he is a rookie, undrafted. He was with the Titans here earlier the offseason. But you've got Whelan and Orzek who have been there, and then Alex Hale on the practice squad. So young room here. We'll see if that matters here in this game, but special teams always very important. We'll see how that goes for them. Now let's jump into this defense, and in the interior defensive lineman, Kenny Clark. Then you've got Slayton, Carl Brooks, Wyatt, and Wooden. Then you've got some practice squad guys. Jonathan Ford on IR there. I think he might be designated to return, though, so may be back soon. Now, up next are the edge guys. And look, Rashawn Gary out of Michigan, he's still a stud in my eyes. Preston Smith, they've got Van Ness from last year. Enigbare there, Brenton Cox, Aaron Mosby. So they've got a little bit of a rotation there with Gary Smith, Van Ness, and even Enigbare there. So I think the Eagles, we got to just protect our quarterback. And look, I like these guys, but we talked about it. They were like bottom of the pack there with sacks there. I think the Eagles should be able to protect the quarterback, but hey, you never know. New defense. We'll see how they come at us, but those are their ends. Now, their off-ball linebackers, you've got Quay Walker. Dude is still a stud to me out of Georgia. Isaiah McDuffie, and then they drafted Edgerrin Cooper and also drafted Tyron Hopper there. Eric Wilson, the vet. Raylan Goforth, the rookie, on IR there. Practice squad, Chris Russell, but got some damn good linebackers there. So we're going to see Goddard try to do some work here, and I'm excited, being precautious with that oblique. Nothing serious, though. There was something from the offseason that they wanted to be careful with, so they'll be ready to rock and hopefully do some work to these linebackers and safeties. But speaking of that secondary, let's look at the cornerbacks here. You've got Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, Keyshawn Nixon, Valentine, and Valentine. Chris Russell on the practice squad. I must have messed that up. I really apologize. I know some of these don't look like they save right. I apologize if the practice squad or IR are messed up here, but you'll see in a second here anyway. But anywho, you see Nixon, one of the better return men in this league, so you got to watch out for him. But he plays nickel corner as well. Stokes and Alexander, good corner. So the Eagles got to step it up there. Now, apparently the practice squad just didn't save anything. I'm not sure. I apologize for that. Why the hell that happened, beyond me. But Xavier McKinney, Javon Bullard, Evan Williams, Oladapo, and Zane Anderson are your safeties. So I am a big fan of Bullard in this draft. McKinney was one of my favorite free agents, so they got some studs there. Now, I'm not sure what the hell, again, is going on with that practice squad there at the bottom, but didn't save right, of course. But what I'll do is keep you up to date with it all throughout the week. You'll see all that stuff regardless. I do apologize for that. But hey-o. Now, let's take a look here at this depth chart, what this team looks like with the injuries and everything included throughout the week. I will keep you up to date once that injury report is dropped tomorrow. This stuff will stay updated. Here are their injury lists. The guys that were on IR, you've got LJ Davis, Tyler Davis, AJ Dillon, Goforth, and McCrary there on the practice squad. And I don't want to leave you hanging as to who those guys were on the actual practice squad for the Packers there. I seriously have no idea what I just did there to make that happen, but of course I did. So the practice squad actually consists of this little list right here. So you've got Kalen King, their draft pick, Kamal Haddon, 2 corners, another corner, Robert Rochelle. D linemen were Alexandri, Esther. You got a fullback in Beck, Lester Smith. I think we had the linemen down. Linebackers, Chris Russell. Running backs, Meriwether, P. Ryan, Omar Brown, the safety, tight end Swinson, and we had the receiver. So my apologies. I don't know what happened there, but let's take a look at this now at their offense. And anyone in yellow, new to the team, anyone with the yellow outline there are the rookies. So you can see Marshawn Lloyd backing up Jacobs there, but they added a right guard, just like the Eagles, getting a new right guard, getting themselves a new running back. That is something that's going to definitely help this offense, but didn't need to change too much. They got Dillard there as their backup left tackle. Best of luck with that. Malik Willis, an intriguing skill set. So see if they can develop him as their backup. But again, didn't need to change too much here. Lost Bakhtiari, a couple of pieces, but just some homegrown talent moving into those starting spots. So you've got Walker and Tom as the tackles, Jenkins and Morgans now as the guards, and then Myers as the center. So you can see this offense, they're going to continue to grow and grow together. So that's usually a good formula if you're drafting well. Now on defense, you can see, we talked about it, really didn't change much other than adding those safeties, McKinney in free agency, and then Bullard and also Oladapo and Williams in the draft. So getting Cooper and Hopper, hopeful those guys can be part of the future. I'm sure they want Cooper and Walker to be the starters there and dominate. But you got McDuffie. You've got a good secondary. So this is still a good defense. And I think the Eagles, this is a good matchup here, a great way to find out who you are in week 1. And obviously it's week 1, so you're going to have mistakes and things, but an exciting matchup coming our way. And then the special teams here, we mentioned Harbison, the rookie, but everyone else is there. Got to watch out for Keyshawn Nixon. And with these new kick return rules that they've got Reed back there as well, holy hell. They've got some damn good returners there in Green Bay, but a damn good team overall. So looking forward to breaking this down, giving you guys the injuries that when they come out for both teams. I will give you the top matchups for this game, and I'm going to try to cram this all together, so it might not have as many shows as usual just because, well, we only got a few days. 4 days, baby. I cannot wait, but hopefully you enjoyed the first behind enemy lines of the season with the Green Bay Packers, and looking forward to the Eagles going 1-0. But let me know your thoughts, whether you're a sicko, a diehard Eagles fan, or you are a Green Bay Packers fan, or anybody else just wanting to chime in. Love to hear from you. You guys know you could reach out. It doesn't have to be about the birds. You got something going on in life. Always here for you guys, as you are for me. But I appreciate you taking the time, checking this out. Love to hear your thoughts. Looking forward to talking to you the next few days. And Friday, of course, a pregame show before we watch our birds. I can't believe it's almost back, baby. We made it. So, have yourselves a great week. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!